Alright, so this should be the beginning of part 2 of my $600 WRX series video. I don't know. Got pedals that I'm going to be putting in. Got to take the old ones out, put the new ones in. Don't mind that. That's my other little project I'm doing right now. Just threw in new VTEC solenoid gaskets and a new thermostat gasket, as the aftermarket one I got was leaking. So this has been bleeding for a little bit now. Nearly done. This is the old daily. Lovely little shipbox Prelude. 322,000 miles. Still kicking. But anyway, back to the Subaru. We let this thing do its thing. And we're gonna start wrenching on this. So from the looks of it, 4 bolts up there. I believe the 2 bolts on the master cylinder of the clutch need to come out as well. On the pedals, there's 2 studs that come out in this location, and I assume they're the same, so the 2 bolts on this. And let's see if there's any more bolts. And I got the STI pedals, which have metal instead of the boring plastic. They're the same price pretty much, and these look cooler. So yes, we have 4 mounting bolts there underneath. These 2 that go to the firewall, and I believe that's it. I'll have to attach the brake sensor and plug in that stuff. And I believe there's a rod that goes to the actual slave cylinder that goes to the firewall that will go through here for the clutch. That will have to be bolted or reattached, but I'll figure that all out once I get the old assembly out. Alright, so I've got 2 of the nuts up under there out. Aside from the firewall ones, I did find 2 more up here. The one on the left is blocked by the column, so I'm going to try to do it from the top, as it's just a bolt and a nut. But they seem pretty tight. But as far as that goes, those are all of the nuts and bolts that hold on the pedal assembly. And then there is the brake pedal thing that holds the brake pedal to it, and the one for the clutch side. Both are out as well, so both pedals are just nice and floppy and loose. Yeah, slowly getting it out. Finished the Prelude, so that's just sitting back there. But yeah, I'm gonna keep fighting these bolts up here. Yeah, so I was actually wrong. These nuts and bolts that you can see up here do not need to come out. The ones you see from underneath are not these, because I broke a 12mm loose, not a Torx bit. And as you can see, they're on the assembly itself. It's these holes that need to come loose, which sucks and is going to be a pain because the steering column is blocking the way of one of them. Kind of see maybe. There we go, flash on, you can see. Torx bits are there. Those are the ones you can see on the top that don't need to come out. That other one, and the one behind the column, are the ones that do need to come out. I might have enough wiggle room to move the column out of the way, as it is unbolted, so I can just kind of wiggle it. But yeah, I'm going to pop those out. Hopefully not have to remove the column. And then I'm just going to take the last 2 bolts on that side out, and the firewall master cylinder bolts for nuts, and it comes out. Alright, that was kind of a bitch to get out, but pedals are out. There was one more screw up here that I forgot about, but other than that, it pulled out. I did have to take this bracket off under here so that this could move more, and these wires in the fuse box and BLU kind of in the way, so barely squeezed by these wires in the back. Getting the new one in is going to be a struggle, but now that it's out, I'll show you more close up where it failed. Very apparent with it out, and where it snapped right there. And yeah, so that is most likely why clutch no work, on top of the that out. I do need to swap this over to the new one because it didn't come with it, but it did come with the duplex sensors. And then I don't need to worry about that spring because this one does have a spring in it. So that is junk. But, oh yeah, the bracket up here, now that everything is loose. I've got my flash on. Now that everything is loose, this bracket is what is going to need to be re-welded. As you can see, it is fully broken off the firewall. It's really hard to get an actual view of what's going on with the bracket, but it's, I think this guy, you can kind of see through here, I think, maybe. Yeah, so this black thing, this is the bracket that is broken off of the firewall that will need to be re-welded. And then I also have a outside reinforcement piece that I will be putting on the firewall side. But yeah, I got this brace that should just, I believe, might have to move some things around down there, but bolts on like that to the bolts for the master cylinder, and then I think maybe the pitching stopper. Yeah, it looks like it'll fit onto that the end of the pitching stopper bolt, which is hard to get a view of apparently. That guy that's very unfocused on there. I think that's why I came with the longer bolt. I assume that's longer bolt for the pitching stopper. So I'll probably have to pop the figure out so I can actually access that. But yeah, that should also help strengthen that up so that it doesn't fail again. And of course, welding the bracket back up. I'm not sure if I'm going to weld it on the cowling side or just on the inside. I'll have to figure that out.
Move to other spots.
We definitely should have cleaned those painted surfaces, but
Oh my god, I don't even want to.
it looks really bad. But
Does it look really bad?
yeah, I'm not putting that in my video. That's getting cut.
Nah. You gotta put it in.
So this is where I'm at now. Pedals are officially bolted in. Bracket is officially welded back in. Not very well. I didn't really prep the surface good enough and couldn't get a good ground attachment, so the welds are pretty rough. I'm not even going to show you the bottom, but it is in there. It's solid. I can push on the pedal and it feels like a clutch. Master cylinder doesn't flex too much. There is a very slight amount of movement still. I did get a video of it, but once I put the brace on there, I think it'll pretty much be gone. And I think from here on out, I just need to attach, like fully attach the clutch pedal, because right now I don't have the pin in it. It's just slid in there. Brake pedals looking feels good though. And then from there on out, I think it's just the dash has got to go back in and all the trim pieces back. So, intercooler's pulled off, so I can get the brace in there. I did have to end up re-unbolting the clutch pedal, just the little lock that actually holds it to the master cylinder so that this can be pushed forward, so I could slide that up in there, and then pushed it back, put the pin back in and all that. This kit did come. This is the normal pitching one, so this came with a longer bolt, has to go through there, along with 2 washers and a nut going into that. turns out it's a 17. Anyway, once that's through like that, where did I put it? Washer, nut, tighten it up on this side, and then the normal nuts that go for that. We'll just have to tighten and get up on this side. Now here's the flex with the brace, if it actually does anything.